UK financial markets are flashing red again. Bond yields are spiking, the pound is tumbling, and investors are asking, is Britain heading towards another fiscal crisis? And this time, it's not Liz Truss, but Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Chancellor Rachel Reeves who are in the hot seat. Long-dated UK bonds or gilts have hit their highest yields since 1998. That means Britain is paying dramatically more to borrow money. And here's the danger. The more yields rise, the more expensive it gets for the government to service its debt, creating a vicious cycle that can spin out of control. Rachel Reeves faces a daunting task, plugging a £35 billion hole in the public finances. Bloomberg Economics estimates she will need to either cut spending or raise taxes ahead of the autumn budget. But both options carry enormous political risk. Already the government was forced to backtrack on welfare reforms after a rebellion among lawmakers, a sign of just how fragile the political ground is. Economists are sounding alarms. Allianz Chief Investment Officer Ludovic Subran says the UK is once again under the watch of the so-called bond vigilantes. Investors who punish governments with higher borrowing costs if they don't trust their fiscal plans. And here's the shocking part. Markets are only now fully pricing in the long-term impact of sticky inflation on UK debt. The pound has also taken a hit, amplifying the problem. A weaker currency makes imports more expensive, further complicating inflation and public spending. In an effort to regain control, Starmer reshuffled his Downing Street team this week, bringing in new advisors to strengthen economic policy. But this move raised eyebrows. Investors are asking, who's really in charge of Britain's fiscal strategy, Reeves or Starmer himself? Mohit Kumar, strategist at Jefferies, says tax hikes are inevitable, but warns that the UK is reaching a breaking point. More tax increases could actually hurt growth, making the fiscal situation worse. David Zahn of Franklin Templeton even predicts the 30-year UK gilt yield could surpass 6%. If that happens, Reeves may have no choice but to impose deeper spending cuts, risking a political storm that could define Starmer's entire government. Observers are already drawing comparisons to 2022, when Liz Truss's mini-budget triggered a market meltdown and forced her out of Downing Street in just 49 days. Economists Stephen Jenn and Joanna Freire warn the UK now risks a Starmer moment if confidence in Britain's fiscal management collapses again. So here's the reality. Britain is walking a fiscal tightrope. Reeves must balance investor confidence, public spending and political stability, all while markets demand higher returns to finance the nation's debt. The autumn budget will be a defining test. Fail to convince the markets, and history may remember this as the moment the Starmer government lost control of the economy. For more updates, do subscribe.